Yo guys, we are back. Welcome back to another episode of Remake Our Life. And wow, a lot of repercussions here. I've been gone a week, so let's jump right into this episode off the bat. Let's talk about the last episode we missed. It was interesting to see everyone be put in a love triangle. Again, we came off a recap episode with them trying to make the video game, and then of course Tsuruyuki's wife coming in and just our fiance coming in the mix of things and making everything a lot more harder than it has to be. But there's a lot of stuff to like really unpack there. One thing is how much attention or trust and respect that Tsuruyuki has for Kyoya, and how everybody else puts their faith in Kyoya, and how Kyoya's been very much the captain of the ship and leading everyone to the promised land, which is of course the deadline of the video game, so they can sell it. And lack for a better word, there's a lot of jealousy, it feels like, that's going on in this episode. Tsuruyuki's girl kind of feels jealous that at the end of the day, like, he has this much trust and compassion for Kyoya, and the girls are fighting over the attention of Kyoya. You have Nanako and Boshinoaki, who want to be the one girl for, of course, Kyoya, and it's really inhibiting the game to the point where he talks to Kasugawa, and Kasugawa seems a little irked by the whole thing, and she's like, look dude, you gotta choose one, but I wouldn't choose one right off the bat because you guys are working on a video game. And then we kind of get the true feelings of Kyoya. He doesn't really see the girls as romantic partners per se. Like, he doesn't want to date any of them. I think he understands that they have a path to go down on. Lack for a better word, they have a path that they have to go forward on, and he believes that if he inhibits that anyway, it can, cause huge repercussions. I mean, Nanako's supposed to be Nana, Shinoaki is supposed to be Akoshina, yeah, and then eventually we find out who the last platinum person is supposed to be and what his name actually really means. And it is insane how I didn't think that this anime was, of course, going to show be Tokyo. It was in Tokyo Revenger, so just a tad bit, and I didn't expect this last episode to like really trigger this kind of effect in me, where I just feel like, oh my lord, repercussions. But let me explain more into depth. So with the episode going into Tsuruyuki's life, we find out that his fiance was very much not picked by, it was picked by his family. It was a girl that he really enjoyed being with and he really enjoyed talking with, but he doesn't see an interest in her in that standpoint. But because the family deemed it worthy of that, or just it was just more beneficial that way, then they decided to put it in that direction. He left because he doesn't want his family to control his life, which is understandable, and she just actually really genuinely loves him. The whole thing with the video game is very tough. They're trying to fix everything. They're trying to like get everything ready, and there's a lot of issues at this point. There's a lot of writing issues too, and it's really taking a toll on everybody. It really is. The girls are having these back and forth things that are inhibiting the workings of course, Kyoya, and then with the whole Tsuruyuki and his fiance thing, that was taking everything up. But eventually they square it off, and then the latter episode, which is just them debugging the video game, working the hardest they can, recording the music, recording the voice acting, and it just goes to the point where I missed what they were trying to show in the episode until I watched it again, which was the reliance that everybody has on Kyoya. The fact that Nanako really believed, I was only able to do this because of Kyoya. Shinoaki, I was only able to do this because of Kyoya. Hell, even Tsuruyuki's like, my writing only got there because you had me there. It really shows that he kind of stripped them of their independence. He really did. He stripped them of their independence and their self-confidence that really needed to be there in order for them to go forward. Yes, he inspired them early on, but in order to make situations occur, such as getting him the money and everything else, he really took on this, I would say, unfathomable object, but that's not the word object, milestone, for them to all try to like overpass, but they couldn't, because if he wasn't 110%, they wouldn't be able to make miracles happen. And because of that, I feel like he kind of, in a lack for a better word, made everyone softer. And I didn't get that in the first run of this last episode. It wasn't until the rewatching that I realized how everyone is so reliant on him. He knows that they're going to be great people, but they don't know that. They think they're great because of him, while he knows they're great because of themselves. And when Tsuruyuki explains that, yeah, my pen name that I was going to use was going to be like Kasegawa Kimiyochi, which is like another word for saying Kyoya is number one. Kyoya has a heart breakdown. He's like, this isn't what I wanted for my future. I didn't want to strip and take away these people's ability to be the platinum generation. I can't believe I did that. I wanted to work with these people more than ever, and I did, and I was able to accomplish that. But what did I do? They didn't flourish. And then of course Keiko comes out, and it turns out Keiko might be a lot more than we've even suspected she might be, because she takes Kyoya to the future, and Kyoya's in the future now, and he sees his life where it would be from that standpoint, which is having a kid with Shinoaki, being a father. They have a daughter. I'm guessing she's like 6 or 8 years old. So this is 10 years future from where he's at, so he'd be 26 with an 8-year-old daughter, which that's not too bad. I'm 25, I'm going to be 25, and I don't have a child, so you know, I'm gonna be happy for that one. That's mean to say. But yeah, dude, it's interesting. So it seems like Shinoaki didn't become a famous artist, she became a housewife. I'm gonna guess Nanako didn't become a famous singer, she's gonna become some run-of-the-mill like recording artist. And Tsuruyuki went back home and married what's her name. Although they're not bad futures, but it's the reverse of what he had. They decided to go down a course that it was easier, because they would never be these great people. Oh my god, I'm thinking about it right now. Like, how is Kyoya gonna fix this? I don't know how he'll fix it, but he fixes it some way. I'm really interested to see where this goes. But I'm gonna call it. That's what I think is happening. I think everyone is in a decent life. I think maybe Tsuruyuki is gonna be in a decent life. He's not gonna be happy. Nanako is not gonna be happy. Even Shinoaki is gonna be like, have some resentment towards Kyoya, because even Shinoaki, she's so smart. She picked it up in the past when she was like, is this all right for where things are supposed to go? And he was like, yeah, like it's gonna be okay. But I think she was more asking of like, do we all have to rely on you in order for us to become like, for us to be successful? And I think the right answer to tell her was, you guys success comes from anything. The reason why I'm so well is because I trust in all of you. I think if he worded those words better, if he would have worded his directions better, he would have been able to keep Tsuruyuki from leaving and Shinoaki from feeling like this kind of inadequacy. Hell, even Nanako from I don't know what's going to be her hiccup, but there's going to be a hiccup for her, or else this story doesn't have anything really good. But all that being said, guys, these past 2 episodes were really good, and this last episode really does show that this whole series is going to be a lot more complex than we were even giving it credit for. And I'm really excited to see what they're really pushing with this narrative, because again, I missed this the first time I watched the last episode of Remake Our Life. It wasn't until I rewatched it again that I realized how reliant and how much of independence has been in a way stripped away from these 3 big artists because their reliance on him. And it's not a bad thing, but it just goes to show, like, if he had just supported them more independently, because then he kind of did rob them independently. He made them compromise for efficiency, with Tsuruyuki understanding like, I have to sacrifice what I want to do for writing in order for my script to like be great. I have to sacrifice music, my chance in music, in order for it to be great, because you directed me towards it. Hell, Shinoaki having a beautiful scene painted out and understanding, well, I'll trust in you, Kyoya. The key word in that whole episode was trust. They all put their trust in Kyoya, which is not a bad thing, but they're putting it so much into him that they're not giving anything back to the world. Again, I'm having this self-realization as I'm recording this, like how much it went from being a more partnership to more of a fellowship. Is it fellowship? I don't even know, bro. But that being said, guys, I'm gonna call it here, man. The last episode was a solid, it was a C+ episode. It was cool, it was funny. But this last episode really has been like, for me to watch it back again and immediately to pick up those signs, I had to give it an A, because I didn't see all these big points that they were making until I rewatched this episode and realized, oh, that's where they were going with it. Like, now that I see that, now that I have that illustrated towards me, I'm much more thinking, oh wow, now I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. Again, guys, yeah, this is gonna be it. Last episode was a C+, this episode's an A. You gotta give it to Remake Your Life for getting me so interested and for really shaking up the story enough to make me go, what'll happen next? But that being said, it is I, your spirit guide yokai Poppy Wolf, with a sadistic sense of humor, saying goodbye, good luck, and I love you guys. Adios.